Namaste everybody. Myself Dr. Bhageshri Krishna Sindhi, Assistant Professor. Today I am going to deal with the topic mergers and acquisition, which is for BCom third semester students. Coming to the topic mergers and acquisition of companies. Before going to the introduction part, let us see the three terms used before 1984. Before the accounting period of 1/4/2000 there were three terms popularly used, such as amalgamation, absorption, and reconstruction. So these three words or these three terms changed after the accounting period 1/4/2000 Later these three words were commonly used as amalgamation. So let us know what do you mean by amalgamation or mergers and acquisition of the company. So company and accounting standard 14 is going to govern the rules regarding amalgamation. Accounting standard 14 is going to govern the rules relating to amalgamation or mergers and acquisitions of company. So why this merger or acquisition of a company or amalgamation happen? What is the reason behind it? To know the reasons behind the merger, acquisition of a companies or amalgamation of a companies, there are n number of reasons to go for merger acquisition. So let us see what are the reasons to go for merger acquisition or amalgamation of a company. You know that there is a huge competition prevailing in the industries. All the companies are facing lot of competition with their rival entities. To survive in this industry, the company has to survive. It has to, and also we say each and every entity or a company wants to be higher than the other. That means it wants to gain more and more profits compared to the other companies. It wants to be more with the worth value of a particular company with the compared to the other company. And there is huge competition among the rival entities. So to exist in this industry, uh, these are the main reasons why the companies go for merger acquisition of the companies. So that is what stated in this slide. That is the different bullets points stated in the slides are given the reasons why there is a merger or acquisition of the companies happens. So let us see one by one what are these different reasons stated in the slide. Present scenario of the business involves competition among various entities and every entity wants to be higher than another. That means each and every company wants to be the gain more and more profits compared to the other. And also to avail the economies of large scale. We know that economies of large scale is only for the big companies. So to avail the economies of the large scale, different companies go for mergers and acquisition. And due to the prevailing competition among the various entities, to reduce that also or to overcome the competition, the companies go for mergers and acquisition. And also to reduce the competition among rival entities. Rival entities, cutthroat competitions will be there in the different companies. At time to reduce that also, the companies go for mergers or acquisition to reduce the cutthroat competition or reduce the competition among the rival entities. And also the another reason for mergers or acquisition which takes place in the industries is to reduce the common expenses. And not only to reduce the common expenses or cost involved, but sometimes we say that the mergers takes place because, for example, if we take a particular A company is well versed with the technological developments and B company is well versed with the distribution channel. Then if they join the hands, then definitely there will be a benefit for both the companies. That means they are well versed with if they are going to merge or if they are going to amalgamate, that is A company well versed with technology and B company are well versed with the channel of distribution, then if they are going to merge as a AB company, then there is a benefit for both the companies. That means it can avail the technological developments as well as channel of distribution. So they can gain the market very easily because B is well versed with the distribution channel and A is well versed with the technological. So they can produce a good quality of products as they both the companies join the hands. So that is what we say the merger and acquisitions takes place due to these reasons. Next, coming to the three concepts, as I've told you, the amalgamation, absorption and external reconstruction. The meaning of these three concepts we'll see now. Amalgamation is a combination of two or more companies and form new company. That means amalgamation is a combination of two or more companies, not only one. Two companies may join together, three companies may join together and so on and form a new company. That is what the amalgamation we speak. Then absorption. Absorption means taking over the business of one or more existing company. That means absorption, general meaning of absorption is taking over or taking things. So absorbing means taking. So in the company we say absorption means taking over the business of one or more by the existing company. Here one company may take over the other company, that is called as an absorption, or one company may take over two companies, that is also known as absorption. That is why we state that business of one or more by existing company. Then third term used in amalgamation is external reconstruction. External reconstruction is a new company floated to take over business of same company with the name and with the new name and identity. So external reconstruction takes place in case we say the new name or identity is to be placed, and it takes place by revaluation of assets and liabilities of the company. Here, to take an example of all these three terms, amalgamation, the example, best example we can take of amalgamation is here as stated in the slide, you can see X company limited plus Y company limited is equal to Z company limited. That means X company is an independent company, Y company is an independent company, and joined together, both joints combine together and form a new company, that is Z company. This is an example of amalgamation. Another example of absorption also you can see here, X company limited is equal to Y company limited. That means here X company is taken over by the Y company. That is why X company is absorbed by the Y company. That means X company liquidate, Y company exist. So yeah, Y company is going to take or purchase the X company. That is what the example of absorption. Then external reconstruction. So here external reconstruction is X company is going to remain as a same. So they are going to reevaluate its assets and liabilities of the existing company. The next concept to study is forms of amalgamation. So there are broadly two forms of amalgamation. One is mergers, another is acquisition. So what do you mean by merger here? Merger, combination of two or more companies into one company is called as a merger. So merger means combinations of two or more company into one company. That means two companies join hands together and do the business and form a new company is called as a merger. So the existing companies are liquidated here and a new company is formed. For example, previous example we have seen that X company and Y company are independent company, both together join their hands or merge and Z company is formed. That is, the X company's assets and liabilities are taken over by Z company. So all the assets of X company are taken over by Z. All the assets and liabilities of Y company are taken over by Z company. So here X company liquidate, Y company liquidate. Liquidate here means close. X company closes, Y company closes and form the new company, that is Z company. That is the meaning of merger. Next, coming to the concept of acquisition. What do you mean by acquisition? In case of acquisition, the business of an existing company is taken over by another existing company. So a particular company which is purchased, which will purchase another company or take over the business of another company, that is the concept of acquisition. So here there are two companies, we say one is purchased and another is sold. That is the transferor company and transferee company. So transferor company is going to liquidate and transferee company remains to exist in acquisition. So here the transfer company loses its existence and a transferring company, no new company is formed, the transferring company will continue. So this is the concept of acquisition. So in case of acquisition, business of an existing company is taken over by the another existing company. So next, coming to the different types of merger. What do you mean by different types of merger? So here we know that merger is a combination of two or more companies. So the different types of mergers are horizontal merger, vertical merger and conglomerate merger. In case of mergers, if we take the lively examples, there are many examples to state in case of mergers and acquisitions. So we say the Facebook and WhatsApp is an best example of acquisition, and Facebook and Amazon, Flipkart and Amazon, Flipkart and Myntra, Kotak and ING, etc. So these are the examples of the mergers and acquisition. Next, coming to the horizontal merger, vertical merger and conglomerate merger. So, what is horizontal merger? Merger is nothing but two or more companies joining their hands. But what is horizontal merger? Horizontal merger is merging the companies, two companies join, such two companies are joining or combining wherein they are in the same industry and similar business. So, a particular companies which are in the same industry and the same business, same having similar worth, etc., they are going to join the hands or combine. That type of merger is called as a horizontal merger. For example, I have given in the slide the electronic goods. So company joining the hands with the electronic goods company only. Okay. So here this is an example for saying that the electronic goods company merges with another electronic goods company is an example of the horizontal merger. Then coming to the vertical merger. What do you mean by vertical merger? Merger is nothing but combination of two or more companies. Vertical here means here also we say two companies wherein they are in the same industry but at a different hierarchical levels. So that means here different hierarchical levels, here we mean the at the different stages of production. So here the different stages of production means in terms of the distribution process or in terms of purchase of raw materials, etc. So the two or more companies uh, join the hands, that is here in the example I have given electronic goods and seller of the raw material. So electronic goods company joining the hands or merging with the seller of raw material, or else it can be like this also, electronic goods company merging with the distribution channel, that means who are selling the electronic goods, who are distributors of the electronic goods, joining the hands with them or merging with them. So even that is an example of vertical merger. This is an example of vertical merger. Next, coming to the conglomerate merger. What do you mean by conglomerate merger? It is an merging of two or more companies, that is unrelated business. That means here the two companies, they are unrelated, they merge. That is such type of merging is called as conglomerate. ಎರಡು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿ ಇದ್ದು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪವರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ browser media ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. So you can take in any examples, like it can be one is pharma company, another is a textile company, etc. So that means unrelated business. So they are not doing the same business. If such two companies join the hands, that becomes a conglomerate merger. That is unrelated business. Here in the example I have given electronic goods company and the clothing business or the textile company. So here if they are going to combine together, such type of merger is called as conglomerate. So you have seen in the slide, we have learned the different types of merger, that is three categories of merger: horizontal merger, vertical merger and conglomerate merger. The next is the types of amalgamation. So accounting standard 14 classifies amalgamation into two categories. So accounting standard 14 classifies amalgamation into two categories. One is amalgamation in the nature of merger, another is amalgamation in the nature of purchase. So amalgamation in the nature of merger means an amalgamation is said to be a nature of merger if certain conditions are satisfied. What are those conditions? We'll see. So here there are few conditions wherein the companies has to satisfy, then only such type of amalgamation is called as nature of merger. So what are those conditions? Number one condition is all assets and liabilities of transferor company are taken over by transferring company. Here in amalgamation or merger we told the assets and liabilities of transferor company is taken over by transferring company. That means all the assets, for example, in the previous example I have stated X company, Y company forms Z company, that is merger or amalgamation. So here X company assets and liabilities, Y company assets and liabilities are taken over by Z company. That is the one of the condition. That means all the assets and liabilities of the transferor company should be taken over by transferring company. Z company ಎಲ್ಲ assets liabilities of ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೈ ಕಂಪನಿದು ತಗೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಅಮಲ್ಗಮೇಷನ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಜರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ 90% of the face value of equity shares of a transferor company becomes the equity shares of a transferring company by virtue of amalgamation. amalgamation ಆದಾಗ shareholders not less than 90% of the face value of equity shares. That means transferor company 90% of the equity shares should become the equity shareholders of transferring company. 90% of the equity shares of the transferor company should become equity shares or equity shareholders of the transferring company. This is the second condition to fulfill to state that a particular amalgamation is a nature of merger. The next condition is the transferring company must discharge the amount of purchase consideration wholly by issue of its equity shares, except that the cash may be paid in respect of any fractional shares. That means here when the transferring company is going to merge with the transferor company or it's going to take over the transferor company, in that case it has to pay some price. So that price is called as purchase consideration. So our purchase consideration wholly it should be in the equity shares only. Equity shares only. The condition to fulfill, because we say to a particular first form of amalgamation to be in the nature of merger ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, condition purchase consideration should be issued wholly in the form of equity shares, except that cash may be paid in the respect of any fractional shares ಇದ್ರೆ cash ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ wholly it should be paid in the equity shares. This is another condition to fulfill to become amalgamation as a merge in the nature of merger. The next is the transferring company has to carry out the same business as that of transferor company. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಏನು, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಯಾರು, Z ಕಂಪನಿ. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಯಾರು, X ಮತ್ತೆ Y ಕಂಪನಿ. ಇವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೈ ಕಂಪನಿ ಯಾವ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನೇ Z ಕಂಪನಿ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್? ಟು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಅಮಲ್ಗಮೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಜರ್. ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇಸ್ no adjustment is intended to make in the book values of the assets and liabilities of the transferor company when it is incorporated in the financial statements of the transferring company. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು assets liabilities ತಗೋತೀವಿ ಅದು ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, we have to write in the books of in the financial statements of transferring company, Z ಕಂಪನಿ ಒಳಗೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಏನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇತ್ತು ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆರ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮರ್ಜರ್ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಅಮಲ್ಗಮೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಜರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರಬಾರ್ದು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. So these are the different conditions to be fulfilled to state a particular amalgamation is in the nature of merger. Then second form ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ amalgamation in the nature of purchase. Amalgamation in the nature of purchase. So in the nature of purchase ಅಂತ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಇವೆಲ್ಲಾ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಈಗೇನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಜರ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ then any amalgamation which is not fulfilling the condition stated here will be considered as the nature of purchase. So here let us see the difference between the amalgamation in the nature of merger and amalgamation in the nature of purchase. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವುದು ಮರ್ಜರು ಯಾವುದು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So here, to state the difference between these two, that is amalgamation in the nature of merger and amalgamation in the nature of purchase, so you will come to know the differences by going through this slide. First difference is all assets and liabilities are taken over by transferring company at book value. We have told that condition ಒಳಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ assets liabilities should be taken over by transferring company ಅಂದ್ರೆ Z company ತಗೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು, ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು. No adjustment, no changes should be made regarding the book value. So first ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ all assets and liabilities are taken over by the transferring company at the book value. But in case of purchase, it's not like that. Assets and liabilities are taken over by transferring company, maybe at the book value or at a fair value or market value. ಯಾವುದೇ values adjustment ಮಾಡಿ ತಗೋಬಹುದು ಅವರು. ಯಾವ ಕೇಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ? In the nature of purchase, not in the merger. Merger ನಾಗ book value ಇರಬೇಕು, purchase of assets and liabilities. ಇಲ್ಲಿ nature of purchase ನಾಗ assets and liabilities should be incorporated in the book value or in fair market value. Second difference ನೋಡ್ರಿ, at least 90% of the equity shares of the transferor company becomes the equity shares of the transferring company. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ 90% of the equity shares of transferor company should be the shareholders of the transferring company. Transferring company Z company shareholders ಯಾರು ಇರಬೇಕು? 90% A ಮತ್ತೆ B ದೇ ಇರಬೇಕು 90%. So in case of nature of merger, the shareholders of transferor company need not be the equity shareholders of the transferring company. That condition is not. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಮರ್ಜರ್ ಅಂತ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Third difference is purchase consideration is discharged wholly by issue of equity shares. PC ಕೊಡಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. That is price to amalgamate or merge or acquire. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಅಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದು ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಜರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಗಿವ್ ಅದರ್ ದನ್ ದ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ the purchase consideration and the net asset should be taken. Next difference is the same business of the transfer company should be carried on by the transferring company. So ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಮರ್ಜರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಕೂಡ ಅದೇ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮರ್ಜರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಆನ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ transferring company can carry on any other business also. So here that is another condition, that means it need not carry on the same business. The next difference in these two are, fifth difference is the assets, liabilities and reserves and surplus of the transferor company are to be incorporated in the books of transferring company. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ, all assets, all liabilities, reserves and surplus of what? Of which? Of the X company and Y company. X company ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. Y company, transferor company. Assets of these X company and Y company, liabilities of X and Y, reserves of X and Y and surplus of X and Y should be incorporated in books of Z company. ಯಾರು? ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಅದು ಮರ್ಜರ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಓವರ್ ಬೈ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟೆಡ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದು ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ, ignoring the reserves and surplus. They are not going to take the reserves and surplus. So here we say that is why the pooling of interest method is in the case of total incorporation of financial. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ? ಮರ್ಜರ್ಗೆ ಪೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ಗೆ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So here this is another difference. Then sixth difference is the difference between the purchase consideration and net asset is adjusted in the general reserve and or other reserves. So purchase consideration ಮತ್ತೆ net assets difference ಬಂದ್ರೆ it should be adjusted where general reserve or other reserve in case of merger. Difference ಬಂದ್ರೆ nature of purchase ನಲ್ಲಿ it should be treated as goodwill or capital reserve. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ನಾವು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. The difference between PC, that is purchase consideration, and net assets in case of merger, It should be treated as what? General reserve or other reserves. But in case of nature of purchase, ಏನಂತ treat ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? Difference between PC and net assets, it should be treated as goodwill or capital reserve. Seventh, the statutory reserves are recorded along with all other reserves without any extra entry. So without any extra entry, statutory reserves is recorded. Now ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ reserves ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ತಗೋತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So statutory reserves is recorded in the books of or incorporated in the books of the transferee company in case of the nature of merger. So here the statutory reserves are recorded in the transferee company by debiting amalgamating adjustment account and crediting concerned reserve account. Concerned reserve account credit ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ amalgamating adjustment account debit ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು statutory reserve ಅನ್ನು record ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So these are the differences between the different forms of amalgamation, that is in the nature of merger, in the nature of purchase. The next common concept to discuss is purchase consideration. What do you mean by purchase consideration, or popular known as PC? It's a price anta helidvi. It's a price. What is a price? So here the transferor company and transferee company. So transferee company purchase ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಟೇಕ್ ಓವರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಮರ್ಜ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಜೊತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. What is that price? Is a purchase consideration. So we'll see now in detail what do you mean by purchase consideration. Before seeing the meaning of purchase consideration, we'll see the steps in accounting for amalgamation. So there are three broad steps. First step is determination of PC, that is purchase consideration. Second is accounting in the books of transferor company, accounting in the books of transferee company. That means you need to prepare the journal entries, pass the journal entries in the books of transferor company. Journal entries ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಒಳಗೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ journal entries in the books of transferee company ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ PC ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿದು journal entries in the books of transferor company ಮತ್ತೆ transferee company ಕೂಡ ಹಾಕಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. That is the whole steps in accounting for amalgamation. So let us see what is PC, purchase consideration. According to Accounting Standard 14, purchase consideration means the aggregate of shares and other securities issued and the payment made in the form of cash or their assets by the transferee company to the shareholders of the transferor company. Transferee company ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಥವಾ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್ or in any other form it is going to pay to the shareholders of the transferor company, that constitute the purchase consideration. Purchase consideration ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ? ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ತಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತೀವಿ? ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So in a simple words, what is purchase consideration? Purchase consideration is a price payable by the transferee company to the transferor company for taking over the business. Business ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಟೇಕ್ ಓವರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಮರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು in a simple words we can say is a price payable by the transferee company to the transferor company. And this purchase consideration does not include any amount paid directly to creditors of the transferor company. Suppose creditors ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ನಾಗ ಬರಲ್ಲ. So it should not be included. That means any amount paid to the creditors will not be included in purchase consideration. Then other point we discussed in purchase consideration is the value of securities is determined on the basis of value fixed by statutory authorities. ನಮಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕೀಗ, ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕಂತಂದಾಗ it should be the value of securities is determined by the basis of value fixed by the statutory authorities. Authorities ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ values. So on that basis the value is calculated. Value of securities are calculated. So there are different methods also to calculate the valuation of the companies. So let us see. In case of other assets, the fair value may be determined by the reference to the market value of the assets given up. That means even the fair market value is to be considered in case of purchase consideration. Then to calculate the purchase consideration, there are three methods, popular three methods for calculation of purchase consideration. As you see in the slides, there are three methods, 1, 2, 3. So first one is net asset method, second is net payment method, third is share exchange ratio method. We'll see what are these three methods. One by 1 because that will help us to calculate the purchase consideration. First method to calculate the purchase consideration is net asset method. What is this net asset method? Here it is calculated by finding out the net asset of a company. Net asset annu ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀವಿ. What is net asset again here? Net asset means excess of assets taken over by minus liabilities taken over at an agreed value by the transferring company. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವ್ರಿ? So here net asset means is an excess of assets minus liabilities taken over by the transferring company at an agreed value. That is the net assets. So even that the same thing is depicted in the table or the chart to calculate the purchase consideration. So purchase consideration is shown as this, or we can calculate the purchase consideration as shown below in the slide. So what is that? We'll take first total of assets taken over at an agreed value less or minus total of liabilities taken over at an agreed value. So whatever the amount you get, that is purchase consideration in case of net asset method. Second method is net payment method. Net payment method, in this it is the sum of shares, debentures, cash paid to the transferor company by the transferring company. Net payment method ಅಂದ್ರೆ payment ರೀ. ಏನೇನು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ನಾಗ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ನೆಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನಾಗ ಏನೇನು ತಗೋತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀವಿ? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್, ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ಸ್, ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ paid to the transferor company by transferring company. ಯಾರು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತೀವಿ? ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And also purchase consideration does not include any amount paid directly to the creditors. Creditors ಗೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ಸ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ನಾಗ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. That means it means the payment made like dissolution expenses, payment to debenture holders, payment to creditors will be excluded from purchase consideration. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು dissolution expenses ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೆಬೆಂಚರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲಿ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Under this method, value of assets and liabilities taken over by transferring companies are irrelevant for calculation of purchase consideration. ಈ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನಾಗ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ನಾವು ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಕೂಡ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತದೆ. ಯಾರು? ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತದೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿಲಿಂದ, ಅದು ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಪೇಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್, in the form of equity shares, in the form of preference shares, in the form of debentures. So here the table depicts the calculation of the purchase consideration. ಏನು? equity shares ತಗೋರಿ, preference shares ತಗೋರಿ, debentures ತಗೋರಿ and cash paid. Altogether it is a purchase consideration under the second method, that is net payment method. Coming to the third method of purchase consideration, share exchange ratio method. Share exchange ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Here transferring companies takes over the business of transferor company on the basis of ratio in which the shares of the transferring company are exchanged for the shares of a transferor company. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸರ್ತಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ transferring company, transferor company in some ratio. What is that ratio? That itself is a share exchange ratio. ಅದೇ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ, for example, X company and Y company. Here I have told you when the Y company is going to take over the business of X company. So Y company shares 10ಕ್ಕೆ 1 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಬಹುದು. That means 10:1 is a ratio for X and Y company. That is a share exchange ratio method. 10 shares Y company ಇದ್ದಾಗ 1 ಶೇರ್ X ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಇದು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಏನು? ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಂಡ್ transferring company at an agreed ratio. So it is an agreed ratio by the two companies, that is transferor and transferring company. The next is the methods of accounting for amalgamation, very important. So there are two methods of accounting for amalgamation. One is the pooling of interest method, second is the purchase method. Pooling of interest method means what? Here the pooling of interest, first method usually we adapt in nature of merger, nature of purchase ಅಂತ ಓದಿದ್ರಿ. So nature of merger ನಾಗ we adopt pooling of interest method. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಮಲ್ಗಮೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ರಿ ಪೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. So what is this method? We see this method of accounting is applicable for amalgamation in the nature of merger. Merger ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. The assets and liabilities and reserves of transferred company will be taken over by the transferring company. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ in case of the merger ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, in the nature of merger ಎಲ್ಲ assets, liabilities, reserves ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿಯಿಂದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ತಗೋತಾರೆ, ಟೇಕನ್ ಓವರ್ ಬೈ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ at existing carrying amount unless any adjustment is required at the book values ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. So the difference between the amount recorded as share capital issued and the amount of share capital of a transferor company should be adjusted against the reserve. So any difference between the share capital issued, share capital issue ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಆಮೇಲೆ amount of share capital of transfer company difference ಇದ್ರೆ ಆ difference amount ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ adjust ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, reserves ನಲ್ಲಿ, transferring company accounts ನಲ್ಲಿ, reserves ನಲ್ಲಿ adjust ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So this is all together regarding the pooling of interest method. Then coming to the second method, that is purchase method. ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, in the nature of purchase. So ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಅಮಲ್ಗಮೇಷನ್ ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು, in the nature of purchase ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಈ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಮಲ್ಗಮೇಷನ್, ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸಲಾಗ ಅಮಲ್ಗಮೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಲಾಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, in the nature of purchase, that is purchase method. So this method of accounting is applicable for the amalgamation in the nature of purchase ಓದಿದ್ವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ the assets and liabilities of transferred company should be incorporated at the agreed value, not a book value. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, in the nature of purchase ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಓದಿದ್ವಿ, ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಓದಿದ್ವಿ. ಏನು, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ it should be incorporated in the books of transferring company at an agreed value, not at a book value. It can go for any of the values, that is agreed value ಅಂತ ತಗೋತೀವಿ. But no reserves other than statutory reserves of the transferred company should be incorporated. ಯಾವುದೇ ಬೇರೆ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಗ ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್. So here no reserves other than the statutory reserves of a transferred company should be incorporated in the financial statements. So financial statements naga incorporate ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ other than the statutory reserves. Statutory reserves ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು reserve they are not going to take in the transferring company. Then here the statutory reserves of a transferred company should be incorporated in the balance sheet by debiting amalgamation adjustment account and crediting statutory reserve account. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. Then any excess of purchase consideration over value of assets. Suppose any difference, even this difference also we have seen, that is excess of purchase consideration over net assets of a transferred company should be recognized as goodwill in the financial statements or capital reserve. Capital reserve ಅಂತ ಅಥವಾ goodwill ಅಂತ. Goodwill ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿದ್ದು ನೆಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದು ನೆಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು ಆ ಒಂದು ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೋವರ್ ದನ್ ದ ನೆಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ acquired, the difference should be treated as capital reserve. So here these are the different points in case of the second method, that is purchase method. The next coming to the last theoretical aspect of the mergers and acquisition, that is intercompany transactions. What do you mean by this intercompany transactions? Intercompany ಅಂದ್ರೆ transferring company, transferor company, intercompany ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಡೆಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ಸ್, ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಡೆಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಅವಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಮೇ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ between these two companies, as they have purchased, as they have merged, they can go for intercompany transactions. So intercompany debtors and creditors means what? Here we say intercompany, in case a particular company, transferring company sells the goods to transferor company on credit, ಅವಾಗ ಡೆಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಗೂಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡೆಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಡೆಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ creditors. So intercompany debtors and creditors happen. Selling company becomes creditor to the purchasing company, and the purchasing company becomes debtor to the selling company. So the treatment, very important here is the treatment should be made. So creditors account is to be debited and the debtors account is to be credited. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಡೆಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So there is no adjustments in the books of transferor company. However, in the books of transferring company, adjustment is to be made to reduce the debtors and creditors. So again, ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ transferring company ಒಳಗ creditors account should be debited and debtors account is credited. Then next coming to intercompany bills. Intercompany bills ಕೂಡ ಅದೇ. In case of mutual debtors and creditors, there may be drawing of acceptance of bills. ಬಿಲ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರಬಹುದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಒಳಗೆ. ಸೊ ಸಚ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನೀಡ್ ನೋ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ is, or the effect of transaction will be, bills payable account is to be debited and bills receivable account is to be credited. Then the third is intercompany loans. ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಯಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿನೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಕಂಪನಿನೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವನ್ ಸಚ್ transaction made intercompany loans, there is no record in the, there is no adjustment to be made in the books of transferor company, but in the books of transferring company you have to make the transaction, record the transaction. What is that? Is loans payable account is to be debited and loans receivable account is to be credited. So this is the adjustment you are going to make. Then last is intercompany stock, unrealized profit ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. If there may be sale or purchase of goods between the transferor company and the transferring company involving profits or losses. So ಈಗ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂತ ಕೇಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎನಿ ಅನ್ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ made intercompany transaction ಲಿಂದ unrealized profit ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ, again there is a treatment to be made in the transferring company, not in the books of transferor company. So such unrealized profit should be eliminated in the books of new company by debiting goodwill and capital reserve account. So these are the concepts or theoretical aspects to be thorough before going to the journal entries. What are the journal entries to be passed in the books of transferor and transferee? So this video will help you to wholly go through the theoretical aspects of the unit mergers and acquisition. Then in the next video we will see the what are the entries, journal entries to be passed in the books of transferor and journal entries to be passed in the books of transferee.